Hi, my name's Dale Loberger with High Performance EMS. I've been asked to answer the question, does system status management actually work? It's really a loaded question because I think there's a lot of people with some very strong opinions about that particular concept. And I think it's very valid for them because they've had some bad experiences about how the dynamic deployment has been implemented in systems that they may have worked. But let's look at how system status management actually does work. What we do is we forecast where calls are likely to be coming from. We do that typically through a demand analysis that, in my experience, is 85% or better of the calls are actually forecast appropriately in a hotspot. So that tells us the vast majority of the time where we're going to be needed. So now we can place units closer to the call before the call comes in. That does several things. So it gives us shorter response times, so we're getting to patients quicker, but it's also safer because the time that we run red lights and sirens, which is the most dangerous time to be in an ambulance, is in that response phase. It's between where the ambulance is dispatched from and the scene that it's going to. So if we can shorten the distance, we actually shorten the likelihood of, or the probability that we could be in an accident. It also shortens the time for the patients. While many people will say that response times don't matter and that there's some studies that prove that, when you really read those studies, you find that that's not what they say. What they say is that response times of 12, 15, 20 minutes really don't matter if we apply a marginal change to those. However, when we really cut response times very aggressively, say down below 6 minutes, what we have found is that we can actually double ROST rates as just one of the measures. And I realize that's not necessarily the same as out of hospital, but it was an easy measure that we were able to show in that particular study. I'd love to do another analysis that looks beyond that. But there are patient satisfaction goals as well as actual benefits to patients as well as safety. But there are operational costs that we also must consider. So by running fewer miles in the fleet, we can save money. Again, here's another study that shows this particular service prior to the left of the red line was before system status management. The red line is after that. And what we see is their call volume is steadily increasing, but the total fleet miles driven is reducing. In fact, corresponding with the highest call volume is the lowest miles that the fleet has driven. So that is a safety as well as an operational savings to that particular system. We can also optimize other facets. So if crew satisfaction is a priority, we want to limit the number of post moves, we can make that be part of what the plan is looking at. So system status management is not simply chasing demand for short response times. It's about meeting objectives of a system, whatever they might be, to try to optimize whatever those measures are. So system status management, in my opinion, and through my experience and through the evidence that I have collected, definitely works. Thank you for asking the question.